Every year the leaves celebrate the first day of spring. Each leaf goes through the process of photosynthesis that day after a long and cold winter.
At the Festival of Spring, all the leaves bring party foods such as NADP, NADPH, ADP, ATP, oxygen, hydrogen, electrons, and photons. After the leaves eat, they wait for the sun to rise. What actually happens inside their bodies is a whole nother story.
The chloroplast is in the eukaryotic cell. Thylakoid membrane is where light reaction takes place. A stack of thylakoid is called granum. There is liquid between thylakoid. Stroma is the site of Calvin cycle. The Calvin cycle takes place in the stroma. Energy is transferred to the Calvin cycle where carbon dioxide comes in and glucose goes out. Light and water go into the thylakoid in a light reaction. The light coming in is used to power movement of an electron through an electron transport chain. Eventually, the electron is going to NADPH. The water splits right away, and when it splits, you get oxygen and it diffuses out of the cell. The electron moves through the electron transport chain and it moves down. Every time it goes through a proton, it's pumping protons to the insides. Some positive charges go to the thylakoid and the rest go through a protein. As the protons move out, they're moving through ATP synthase. Every time a proton goes through, we make another ATP.
Carbon dioxide comes in moving the stromata of the leaf and diffuses its way in. Rubisco attaches a carbon molecule to a 5-carbon molecule. It immediately breaks into 3 carbon molecules and it gets energy from ATP and NADPH. When it's done, it creates G3P. G3P becomes quickly into glucose, sucrose, maltose, or whatever it needs to survive. Some G3P is released, but most of it is recycled again to make RUBP. Without ATP or NADPH, then the process will shut down, and without carbon dioxide, another chemical that isn't necessary can be formed. Because oxygen can go to the Calvin cycle to Rubisco, and eventually a cell has to break it down.
When the sun came up, the leaves produced oxygen and glucose all year long until the next winter.